Back to the daily grind, and y'all know we gotta talk about this. But before we do, make sure you hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Dillon Danis is set to make his MMA debut at Bellator 198 in April, and this is a highly anticipated MMA debut by one of Conor McGregor's teammates. And I'm not sure if he's Conor McGregor's Jiu Jitsu coach. I'm sure he's got more than one Jiu Jitsu coach. But I say that because if you recall, if you don't know about Dillon Danis yet, you might remember the moment in the press conference leading up to Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor, when Nate Diaz mentioned Conor McGregor's Jiu Jitsu coach, and he was like, you know who his Jiu Jitsu coach or whatever, we're gonna get that motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying? Because he was training with Conor McGregor. So this guy, he's been in the middle of the Conor McGregor Nate Diaz back and forth, and also he's got some very high level jiu-jitsu. He's known for his jiu-jitsu. So now a lot of people want to see how is he going to transition into MMA, which is mixed martial arts. It's not just jiu-jitsu tournaments anymore. We're going to see Dillon Danis' striking, his wrestling, and you know what I'm saying, how he does in a legitimate mixed martial arts fight at Bellator 198. Now his opponent is not finalized, but I will say it's a good thing right now that he's only 24 years old, that he's fighting in Bellator, because Bellator, you know, when it comes to their unranked fighters, it's not the same Shark Tank as the UFC. Now, Bellator's got some of the cream of the crop at the top of their divisions. The Rory McDonald's, the Gegard Mousasi's, the Douglas Limas, the Rafael Carvalho's. Their top champions and contenders, they're legit. But down at the unranked levels, Bellator can have an easier time building some of these stars or some of these potential stars like a Dillon Danis. You know what I'm saying? So when Dillon Danis makes his MMA debut, he's not necessarily going to be overmatched, and he can get his feet wet in that cage. It's going to be his first fight, you know what I'm saying? Let alone his first Bellator or first UFC fight. This is his first MMA fight in general. So Dillon Danis, I'm looking forward to his debut, man. I want to see how he's going to do in the octagon. I want to see how his striking is in his wrestling. We know if he gets to the ground, he'll probably have the advantage versus his opponent. But with that being said, this is going to be a highly anticipated debut at Bellator 198. And so once we find out who his opponent is, it might not even be newsworthy. It's likely to be somebody that we don't know their name yet, because, you know, you don't want to see Dillon Danis going against some, you know, 9-0 fighter that everybody knows, or another killer that, you know, like a fucking shark. So Dillon Danis is probably going to be fighting someone we haven't heard of, but the fact that Dillon Danis is fighting is what's going to draw the eyes to that fight. And Dillon Danis, you know, he's got a lot of haters, man. He's got a lot of people that, you know, say he's only getting in Bellator and getting to fight in Bellator in his debut because he's Conor McGregor's teammate, and he gets a lot of hate, especially from that Nate Diaz, you know, that Nate Diaz thing. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him. Whether people want to see you win or they want to see you lose, people are going to be wanting to see Dillon Danis fight, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to see how he is as a mixed martial artist, and maybe he's going to have that, you know, jiu-jitsu, that fucking suffocating jiu-jitsu once it gets to the mat, no matter what, you know, kind of like Brian Ortega style. Like, even if you do happen to be losing a round or 2 rounds, you're going to always be a threat, always be dangerous, always be fun to watch. So to those people that are hating on Dillon Danis, I got one thing to say to you.
Why you being a dickhead for? Stop being a dickhead.
And with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think about Dillon Danis' MMA debut at Bellator 198. And let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.